Welcome to the American Dream, Traverse City. I'm your host and community expert, Brian McGillivray. Today we're on the schooner Inland Seas, where we'll join the crew and passengers to learn about the ecology of the Great Lakes and the wonderful creatures that dwell beneath the surface.
What we've got here is an algae called chara.
So thanks for joining us.
One of the ways that you can identify chara, believe it or not, is by the way that it smells.
For 35 years, the Inland Seas Education Association has inspired curiosity, stewardship, and passion towards the Great Lakes through educational programming that gives us landlubbers an opportunity to sail on one of its two tall ships. Based in Suttons Bay, Michigan, Inland Seas offers hands-on educational sails for school groups and the general public throughout the Great Lakes. There's no other organization like it, fulfilling an important role in the preservation and restoration of the greatest system of freshwater lakes in the world. Today we'll meet with its executive director, Fred Sitkins, former teacher and school principal whose career has brought him full circle. And later, we'll stop at one of the more beautiful beaches in Northwest Michigan. Hi, we're here today with Fred Sitkins, its executive director of the Inland Seas Education Association. Fred, thanks for joining us today. Can you tell me about what your first exposure was to Inland Seas?
When Inland Seas was just getting started, they leased a vessel in Traverse City called the Malabar. And I had moved up to Traverse City at that same time to go to NMC and figure out what I was going to do with my life. And I was lucky enough to get a job as a deckhand on the schooner Malabar while I was going to school. And that was my first exposure to Inland Seas. And you know, for me, I was a student, I was kind of aimless, and a lot of that was I just didn't like school, didn't connect with school. And through these couple of years working on the Malabar and witnessing the schoolship programs, I kind of thought to myself, you know, why wasn't school like this for me when I was a kid? And it was that line of thinking that caused me to think, you know, school should be that way for kids. And you know what? I could be a teacher. And so, yep, I spent 20 years in public education as a teacher and a building principal. And the founder of Inland Seas was retiring, and they were having a hard time filling that position. And I had a friend contact me and say, you know, have you ever thought about Inland Seas? You might be good at something like that. And so, yeah, I thought about that as a full circle opportunity and a chance to be able to have other students, you know, kind of eyes opened to a better career for themselves.
So tell me a little bit about what you do here at Inland Seas.
In a nutshell, we're about protecting the Great Lakes through education. So what we do aboard these magical tall ship schooners is we bring folks out first and foremost so that they develop a good, solid, positive connection with these lakes. You know, people take care of what they care for. And so we want people in all ages to have a positive experience on these lakes. But you know, loving the lakes isn't enough. They need a knowledge and a general information about how these lakes function. And so what we do is we put students in the place of a Great Lakes scientist. And when they come out on board our vessels, they deploy scientific equipment, they take samples of all parts of the lakes, and then they move through stations as they analyze those samples and learn a great deal about the Great Lakes and just kind of what makes these lakes so great.
When you say student, we're not talking about just children. We're talking about people of all ages.
Yep, so a lot of the work we do are with school children, and we call it our schoolship program. But during the summer, we work with folks of all ages. We travel to 4 of the 5 Great Lakes every year, delivering programming in communities throughout the lakes.
Tell me a little bit about what we're going to do today.
Yeah, you're going to explore the fishes of the Great Lakes. So the first thing you're going to do is go out and take a fish trawl. So we'll drop an outer trawl into the lakes and trawl for 10 minutes and capture some of the feeder fish populations so that you learn to understand, you know, kind of that base level of our food chain. You're going to take some plankton samples where you learn about microscopic organisms that support the food chain in the lakes, and you'll learn a bit about sailing history and lore. You'll even have a chance to drive the boat.
Fred, thanks for being with us today. We had a great day for our sail, really looking forward to it. So appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay, have a great day. So if you follow me at all, you know I promised you a remote, pristine beaches. It doesn't get more remote or beautiful than Cathead Bay. No one knows where it's at. It's hard to find. I'll give you the key right now. You want to go to the Leelanau State Park Trailhead, and then it's about a mile hike through some gorgeous woods to this remote, beautiful Lake Michigan beach. Well, thank you for joining us today on our Lake Michigan adventure. I'm your host and community expert, Brian McGillivary, and this should be your American dream.